Hello, everyone, and this is Tiffany with Money Tree Telemarketing. Welcome. I realize you have not done your training yet, which is done with 2 videos. Um, Once you do that, you'll be have to take a test and if you pass, you can start work right away. But you also need to be prepared when you go to start working, or to take your test in any case. So I'm going to show you what needs to be opened. And the rules for calling, you need to make sure these are good and cemented in your memory. Also, a good idea to read your rebuttals. I mean, really study up on them because they tell you how to answer any customer questions. You do get questions quite a lot, and any questions that you can't answer can lead to a bad appointment. So it is good to be able to answer the questions and make sure you know the answer. It is your job to know the answers to these questions. So the customer is fully informed and you sound professional. So first and foremost, you're going to need the Zofer downloaded and ready to go. Zofer looks like this. Looks like a little head wearing a headset. When you open the Zofer by double clicking on it, it looks like this. Ignore that request timeout thing. It does that sometimes. It looks like this when you open it up. Just make sure you have it open and ready, and your trainer will walk you through how to set up your Zofer during your testing. So you don't really have to know how to do any of that, but just make sure that it is ready. Okay, and then we go to our regular screen here. First, I'm going to show you the website. This is, on the basic training information, is basically the rules for calling. Okay, you need to know the rules. This is what's going to ensure that all your appointments are good. As long as you follow the rules, your appointments won't be bad. So let's go with, you need to work in a quiet area of your home. Try to eliminate the distractions so you can focus on what you're doing. Smile while you're talking to people. If you're smiling while you're talking, believe me, it comes through over the phone. You sound more personable. Sound enthusiastic and happy to be calling. People don't like it when you sound, well, like your life is bothering you. Follow the script. What we mean by follow the script, I mean follow the script verbatim. You need to follow the script as it's written. Don't ad-lib. The agents don't like it. Okay? Everybody you call needs to be within the proper age range. The age range is written next to the agent's name in the chat room for the list of people that we are calling. You can only call somebody that is listed in chat room. If it's not listed in chat room, you cannot call for it. If you set an appointment for an agent that is not listed, it will not be accepted and you will not be paid for it. You must confirm the quote amount that's being requested. Usually I do this by repeating it back. Basically, I'll ask what they want is the quote amount. And the question is very simple. Our policies come in amounts of 5, 10, 15, and 20,000. Which would you be most interested in learning more about? If they tell you 10, just say, okay, 10,000. This is basically repeating the question back to them so they can correct you if you misheard them. You must name a beneficiary. This does not mean that we need a name of the beneficiary. It just means that we need a relationship. So it needs to be children, sister, brother, husband, son, daughter, niece, nephew, grandchildren, friend, neighbor, even funeral home. Some people do, in fact, leave their beneficiary as a funeral home. Usually these are people that do not have family left. That is acceptable, and whatever they tell you, you put down there. It's their beneficiary. They can choose whoever they like. You do not need a name, just what they are. You cannot use the word free. Okay, these are appointments to speak to an agent about getting life insurance, but you're not selling them anything. But these are not free, okay? If they choose to get life insurance, they're going to end up paying for monthly for the policy, just like any other insurance. Don't use the word free because people by nature are lazy, and all they hear is free, and they assume that the government is going to give them free insurance. There's no such thing as free. You must confirm the address and the phone number. The address and phone number will be written on the dialer with the person's name. Basically, it's just you're going to confirm their information. Before you ask any of the other questions, you confirm info. It's just going to be their name, address, city, state, zip, and the phone number. If any of that has been changed, or they moved, or anything like that, you're just going to click on it and change it in the dialer. And you'll see more on that in the training video. Not acceptable leads. Okay, leads that are not any good, that we cannot use. Okay. If you said free, if you mentioned this is a free quote or anything like that, we will not take it. If they want coverage for someone else, this is called a third-party appointment. It is no good. This also includes POA, in other words, power of attorney. Even if they are power of attorney, they cannot set an appointment for somebody who is not there. You must only set appointments for the person you are speaking to. If you speak to someone and they say, okay, I don't need it, but my mother does. Unfortunately, unless we can speak to their mother, you cannot set the appointment. Only the person you are speaking to. If they say they can't afford it or have no money. Okay, if they say they can't afford it the first time around and you do the rebuttal that's in your rebuttal sheet, and they change their mind, then that's fine. But if they say they can't afford it again later in the appointment, this is basically considered saying no twice. That's bad. They can only say no once. If they say no twice, the appointment is not good and it will be denied. So don't even bother sending it through. The script's not followed. If you're all over the place, you're not following the script, you're just saying something off the top of your head or ad-libbing, it will be denied. Again, must follow the script verbatim. Okay? More than one rebuttal used, which is basically they keep finding a way to say no, and you keep using a rebuttal to change their mind. Not okay. You can only use one rebuttal per customer. Okay? And how do you know if you're using a rebuttal? It's very easy. If they're saying something as a statement and you use a rebuttal, that is a rebuttal. And if they are asking you a question and you use a rebuttal to answer it, that is not a rebuttal. You can answer as many questions as you like, and as many questions as the customer asks. In fact, we encourage you to do so. It's good to be able to answer the questions. However, if they're saying things like, oh, I can't afford it, that's not a question, that's a statement. And you use a rebuttal, then you rebutted. If they say, I don't know, how much does it cost, I may not be able to afford it, that's a question. If they say, well, I already have a policy, again, that is a statement, not a question. If they say, okay, what if I already have a policy? That's a question. You just need to learn what the difference between a rebuttal and a question is. That way you always know how many you used. You have the list of your rebuttals, and please, do yourself a favor, study them thoroughly, because if you cannot answer the questions, your appointments will be a mess, and they'll end up being denied. A few other things. Don't ask any unnecessary questions. There's no need for it. If they say they're not going to add their spouse to the policy, and this policy is just for them, do not ask their spouse's information. You don't need it, so don't waste your time. Don't ask for the name of their beneficiary. Again, you don't need it. Don't waste your time. Just ask what relationship they are. If the agent is not asking for a bank account, which will be listed in chat room next to the name in the list with all the agents, if it's not asking for a bank account question, you don't need to ask. So do not add it to the questions. You're only making your appointment longer. Strive to get appointments that are 2 to 3 minutes long. Anything longer than that is way too long. 2 to 3 minutes. You want to get in and get out. Do not add any unnecessary information. We don't need it, we don't want it, and it takes up way too much time. Let's see. This is a small training video for the dialer. It basically just tells you what everything you're going to have that's going to need to be done when you're training, or doing your test, so to speak. Okay, now I'm going to show you everything that you're going to need to have open on the day that you do your testing. You had your Zofer already downloaded and ready to go. You're also going to need to have TeamViewer downloaded and on your desktop. You do not need to have it open. We're not going to use it on your testing. However, we do use it if anything goes wrong technically while you're working at some point in the future, and we use it to fix your dialer or anything else that we may need to fix remotely. So you will use your TeamViewer to do that. We just want to make sure that it's downloaded and ready, so if anything like that comes up, we don't have to wait for you to download TeamViewer. You'll also need to have Skype, obviously. Okay? First, you're going to need to have your HipChat. Now, you do not need to be logged in to HipChat, so to speak. You don't need to actually have it open and logged into it. If you're not sure how to do that, you can always wait for training to do that. And I'll walk you through, or your trainer will walk you through how to set up your HipChat to make sure it's set up correctly. However, if you figure it out on your own and you want to have it open, that's fine. Just make sure it's open and ready to go on a tab. The next tab you're going to need to have for when you first start before you memorize it is your script. Now, when I say you must say the script verbatim, okay? It's just this top paragraph here from hello to time. That is your script. It's only a paragraph long. Pretty easy. You need to follow this verbatim, okay? Now, if you see this where it says many people between the ages of 50 and 80, okay, that is not always the case. Most agents, their age range is 50 to 80. However, some of them do have a little different. Some of them are 45 to 70. Some of them are 60 to 80. It just depends. If it's different, it'll say so in chat room, and then you need to remember that so you can change it in the script while you're reading it. That's the only thing that you're allowed to change. Everything else is verbatim. The questions are written out for you. You need to ask them the way that it's written out. It just causes less problems if you do the way we pointed it out to you, alright? You're going to need to have your dialer open. It looks like this before you actually get it started. You will receive your login and passwords on the day of your testing. So it just needs to be open and look just like this. Then you're going to need to have your lead reporting form. It looks like this. It's got little minions all over it. And then, just so you have this open, it's the cheat sheet. This is your go-to. This is how you set your appointments, and it tells you how to ask the questions of the customers. Okay, very good piece of information to have. Use it. It tells you how to set these appointments step by step. Okay. Verify first name and last name, address, city, state, and zip, and the phone number. You're going to do all this in the first second, okay? Don't spread it out or jump around in the appointment. Just do it all at the same time. How old are you? Okay, we're also, I got to change this, but we also have the date of birth question now. So you ask how old are you and your date of birth. Don't ask it as, may I have your date of birth? Or, can I have your date of birth if you're okay with that? Don't do that. You're just giving them an out. Just say, and your date of birth. Gives them the feeling that they have to answer. Quote, our policies come in amounts of 5, 10, 15, and 20,000. Which would you be most interested in hearing more about? And whatever their answer is for that. The rebuttal for this, if they do not have an answer, okay, if they say they don't know, or they're not sure, or it depends on cost, anything like that, just say, okay, well, if is it all right with you if I leave it at 5,000 for now, and you could just discuss all the different policies when the agent contacts you, and that's normally fine. Do you have a beneficiary? Son, daughter, wife, husband? Basically, just giving them choices, and whatever they have for that. Do you smoke? Yes or no? I don't need smoker, non-smoker, choose tobacco, whatever. Just yes or no. Now a little bit about this do you smoke question. Basically, do you smoke just means do you use tobacco products. So if they tell you no, I don't smoke, but I do smoke cigars every now and again. It's tobacco, it's the same thing, it's smoking. If they say no, I don't smoke, but I chew dip. That is the same thing. Yes, they use tobacco. Just say yes. Don't say no, but choose dip. That's stupid. Just say yes. anything that results in any kind of tobacco use at all is smoking. End of story. Hobby. For security purposes, just so the agent knows that I spoke with you and not with someone else, what is your favorite hobby? If it can be anything, such as walking, watching TV, playing with the dog, babysitting grandchildren, cooking, cleaning, I don't care. Some people even say working. Whatever their hobby is. If they do not have one, don't harp on them about it. Just say, okay, that's fine. What's your favorite color? And then you're going to put that there. If they can't answer either one, then you can say no hobby as the answer. Just make sure that you ask the question in the appointment. That is one of your biggest things. You have to ask all of these questions. If you do not ask a question, the appointment will be denied. I don't care if it's something as small as the smoking question. Absolutely must ask every question on the dialer. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to at least ask. They don't have to answer, but you do have to ask. Notes, this is where you leave anything that's relative to the agent, such as don't call till after 5, or anything you think the agent might want to know. Don't leave anything random in there that it's not important to the agent. If it's not important to the agent, I don't want to hear about it, and I don't care. Confirm appointment. This is your holy grail of questions. You absolutely must do this, and for the love of God, do it the way it's written out for you. Ask the question the way you see it written right here. If you do not ask it this way, I'm going to deny your appointment. There's a reason. The agents want to hear it written out, said the way it's written out. If it's not said this way, you will be denied. And do not question me about the choice. I'm telling you now, I'm not going to debate this with you. It is this way or no way. It's my way or the highway, to put it lightly. Just to confirm, you do want a contact back from the licensed agent and the agent's name to give you more information about the burial insurance plan. That's it. As long as they answer you in the affirmative, it's fine. They could say, okay, fine, I don't care. As long as it's affirmative, it's fine. As long as they don't say it as something negative to that question, you're good. And then you're going to fill out the rest of the form. Basically, you'll hang up and move on with the rest of your dialer and then filling out the rest of your information. Just follow it as it's written right here. Tells you everything you need to know. That's a good little piece of information to have. Please make sure all this is opened and ready for you on the day of your testing. If it is not opened, if it is not ready, if you do not have what you need to have downloaded, if you do not have what you need to have bookmarked and ready to go, you are not prepared, and therefore you will fail. I will not accept any more trainings that are not prepared. If you are not prepared, it's just like school. You got to bring a pencil. Well, here you have to have everything open and ready to go. If you are not ready, you are not ready, and I will tell you that you have to come back. You will not convince me otherwise. Me and the other managers here, we are too busy to spend 20, 30 minutes waiting for you to download what you need to have download and open up all your bookmarks and search for things that you should have already had done. Be prepared. End of story. Basically, that's it. Once you learn the job, it's not very hard at all. Like I said, it's really about following the rules. Watch the videos thoroughly. Get a good idea of how you're doing this. Make sure that when you're going into testing, that you know what you're talking about. Because if you fail your test, you will have to come back. End of story. We will not accept anybody starting work that has not passed their test. That is why you're tested. There is no contingencies on this. There are no special cases. Everyone must pass their test. Past that, this should be very easy for you. It is really not that hard. It just looks like a lot more than it really is. It's just a lot of information, and eventually, you'll get the gist of it, and it'll all become very second nature to you. But, alright, we will see everybody on their testing. Have a good day. Bye.